Have you ever walked into a room and felt judged? Have you ever walked into a room and felt like you didn't belong? I spend my days sitting with my clients and my students, teaching them to slow down, notice their thoughts, and understand the stories their minds create. I was a new professor walking into my first lecture. 50 students stared back at me, some whispering in the back, others very much unreadable. And in about 3 seconds, I assumed the worst. They don't like me. That first lecture was rough. I spent my day rushing through everything and wondering if I'm even cut out for this. Ha. As the weeks moved forward, things began to shift because I got to know my students and I learned the truth. Most of them had moved away from home for the first time, and others were trying to overcome the overwhelming expectations of their coaches, their professors, and their parents. The room wasn't judging, I was misreading it. What I felt was real was not fact. What I was experiencing wasn't the truth in front of me, it was the story inside of me. And here's why this happens. Research suggests our brain registers thousands of thoughts a day. 80% of those are negative, and 95% of those are going to repeat tomorrow, which means most of what we think in a room isn't about the room. While emotions are valid, they are not always accurate. What we feel may be happening is actually our body and our brain remembering, which means we often misread situations that are far less harmful. Someone is quiet and we assume they're upset. When we think we're reading others, we're actually reading our own fear. But here's the empowering reality. We don't have to stay stuck in our old pathway. Thoughts are subliminal, meaning they are influenced by our five senses and our past experiences. Some call this cognitive reframing. I like to call it renewing your mind. Taking a thought captive long enough to ask, is this really true? They're not upset. They're tired. They're not distracted or distant. They're anxious. They're not judging. They're overwhelmed. Right now, I want you to just allow your mind to slow down and listen to a tool that I teach. Pause, regulate, reset, read the room. A pause while your emotions are coming in and they are fast and emotional and fear based. A pause creates space between what you feel and how you respond. Regulate the emotion. While it's valid, it is not always fact. Take a deep breath and center your nervous system. You just allowed peace to come in. Resetting challenges that story. Ask, what else could be true right now? Now read the room through the new lens of truth. What is the bigger picture? What might they be carrying? This is when your thoughts shift from assumption to clarity, from defensiveness to connection. The person who can learn to regulate their internal narrative can positively shape families, workplaces, and communities. For example, we go into a family gathering and we talk to that family member. Yes, every one of you just had that person come up in front of you. Let's go there. We're walking into that conversation, and they begin to shut down and they leave. Our initial response says, they don't ever want to fix anything. Pause, regulate, reset, read the room. Another example is you're going to a workplace meeting and you begin to share an idea. Someone across the room pushes their chair back, folds their arms, and looks down. We initially think they hate our idea. Reset. Read the room. They're thinking about your idea. They're processing. It's the same room, different meaning, different outcome. Resetting creates space in the room for compassion, understanding, and unity. When we adapt how we see the room, we change the room because perception shapes presence. When we choose to see positive first, tensions lower and trust grows. And the room becomes safer because you became safer. Your internal atmosphere begins to influence the external atmosphere around you. Shift your perception, and you can shift any environment you walk into. Unity doesn't start with agreement. It starts with how we see others and how we see ourselves. Just imagine what families, workplaces, and communities could become if just one person in the room chose to see things differently. And for those who walk into rooms grounded in their true well-being, you've been able to push back the negative. You're looking through the lens of truth. Keep showing up with kindness. Keep being curious and keep leading with compassion. So here's my challenge. Pause. Regulate. Reset. And read the room. When we shift our perception from assumption to compassion, we will not only transform the rooms we walk into, we will transform the world we all share. Thank you.